Howdy, folks. I'm a turnip,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for exposing my dad to the family after he tried to portray my brother as a bad father and son? And this one does involve infidelity. My siblings, 24 male, 22-year-old female, and I, a 26-year-old male, were raised by a single dad, a 45-year-old male. Our dad was great. He was loving and caring and always put us first. Because of this, we never missed our deadbeat mom. My dad even sacrificed his love through life. He never dated anyone. My brother, 24-year-old male, disowned our dad 3 years ago for reasons I would have also disowned him. To be honest, my brother found our dad and his then girlfriend, a 27-year-old female, doing it in bed. Thus, my brother got mad at my dad and cut him off, moved out of the house, and went to live with some friends. No matter how hard my dad has tried to apologize and reach out to him, my brother ignores him. My dad suffered a lot because of this and has gotten mad at us many times since my sister and I know where our brother lives. We visited him a couple of times and he demands that we let him know. But we can't because our brother threatens to go no contact with us if we tell him. The thing is this. That woman got pregnant with twins, but she didn't feel like being a mom, so she left them to my dad. My dad tells everyone that he is raising his grandkids. He swears they're my brothers, but I'm pretty sure that they are his since my brother says he always used protection. The kids turned 2 years old a couple of days ago, and he hosted a small party. So my uncle started asking about my brother, as the kids have no father since no one in the family knew what happened. So my dad started talking garbage about my brother, saying that he was an ungrateful son and a terrible father for leaving 2 kids behind. I think my dad is angry at my brother for not forgiving him, as everyone in the family sees my dad as the example for the sacrifices he did. They started talking garbage about my brother. I love my dad with my whole heart, and I would do anything for that man. I know all of my siblings would. But he tried to portray my brother as the bad guy, and I love my brother. So I told him he wouldn't have disowned you if you hadn't done that to his girlfriend. And he got her pregnant. Everyone looked at him and tried to excuse his actions, but everyone told him just to go away. They called my brother and to apologize, but my dad is angry at me, saying that this is a family matter and I should have just kept my mouth shut. My wife says that I did the right thing, but my sister is on my dad's side. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
OP. You didn't do anything wrong other than tell everyone the truth. And the whole ridiculousness of this is a family matter. It was a family party, for crying out loud. It was a family matter. Everyone was ragging on your brother because they had bad information about your dad. And I just think that this is absolutely absurd. No, you're not the jerk in this situation. The only person who's really the jerk in this situation is your dad for being a terrible father. It doesn't matter how sacrificing he was. I know you're like, oh, he sacrificed his love, even, right? His dating life. Well, apparently not well enough. Not well enough that he decided to hook up with his son's girlfriend. I think that's just terrible. He kind of gets what he deserves in this case, which is to take care of the 2 kids on their own. So that's my thought. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk. He says this is a family matter. Which family? The one whose origin he's lying about, the one he's trying to lie to, or the one that he wants to make complicit in those lies. Regardless, this is 100% about him going out of his way to try and throw your brother under the bus and somehow expecting no one to call him out on that. And he really still wonders why no one wants to help him get back in touch with this guy. He wants to paint himself as the good guy while bad-mouthing his son that he had betrayed. OP's dad needs a slap of reality. Now he has to face the consequences of his actions. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not letting my sister-in-law wear my wedding dress to prom? I'm a 25-year-old female and I got married to my husband, a 24-year-old male, a year ago. He has a sister who's a 16-year-old female. I went a little non-traditional with my dress. I got a big light yellow dress and a beautiful strappy top with lace. The dress was gorgeous, and of course very expensive. This was definitely my dream dress. His family isn't particularly well off, but they're certainly not poor or lower income. So when they told me at a family dinner that they were having trouble finding an affordable dress for her, I was a little surprised. But I gave suggestions like looking at eBay, Goodwill websites, etc. In my younger days, I did pageants and we always resold the dress at a good discount. They told me that they looked, but they didn't find anything that they liked. I told them that the dress would come up soon. Well, 2 weeks had passed and we got invited to dinner again at their house. We showed up and immediately his sister starts moping. I assumed that she had a bad day at school and sat down to eat. Then my mother-in-law explained to me that she was upset because prom was in 3 days and she still had no dress. I expressed my condolences and I told her that I could help her maybe look around. And then that's when mother-in-law said, "Oh, I have an idea. OP, why don't you let sister-in-law wear your yellow dress? I could probably get it tailored in time." My sister-in-law immediately perked up, and I felt like I was ambushed. I looked to my husband, and he just shrugged. I politely told them no, I was sorry, but the dress was very special to me, and sister-in-law and I are quite different sizes. It would fall right off of her. Well, mother-in-law told me that she knew a wonderful seamstress who could make it fit, which really upset me. I asked her what if I ever wanted to try it on again, it wouldn't fit. Even if I lost weight, my bust would never fit a dress tailored to fit her. Sister-in-law ended up bursting into tears. I'm not sure if it was because of me saying no or me talking about our bodies. My husband and I ended up leaving early. He was very upset with me for not sharing the dress, but said ultimately it was my decision. His family, on the other hand, is livid with me. They went radio silent until I saw a post of sister-in-law on Facebook in a beautiful blue dress. I commented saying that I'm glad she found a dress and it looked great and I hope that she had a good time. And I immediately got a comment back asking me for my portion of the dress. They have now told my husband that I am responsible for either reselling the dress and getting them half back, since I have experience with that, or help paying for half. I told them that this was ridiculous, but my husband told me to just do it. I told him that I'm not going to be pushed over, and he ended up leaving for 3 days to stay at his mom's. Now I am no longer invited to family dinners or functions, and they only have nasty things to say about me, saying that I almost ruined her prom night. Am I the jerk? Should I have just let her wear the dress, or at the very least help them sell it? At this point, my husband isn't even on my side. I don't know. Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk and divorce him?
Yeah, get a new husband. Maybe you can resell your old husband and find a new one. This is
The resale value is probably not very good.
no, the resale value is probably pretty dirt. Oh no, poor OP. You wanted to keep your wedding dress in a state that you could use it. Like, wedding dresses aren't very useful because you only get to wear them once a lot of times. And it sounds like you picked the dress that you could wear more than just once, which I think is great because I think it's a little bit wasteful for us to not have dresses that we can wear multiple times. And I think that's just a very negative consequences of weddings. So I think this is a great idea. For them to force you into trying to let them use your dress, no. I mean, I know we had just the same letter the other day, but this is ridiculous. You almost the same letter. You're not entitled to give up your dress to these people. They are not entitled to your dress. So you're not the jerk. Your husband is just acting very spoiled, and everyone else is acting spoiled and entitled. So yeah. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk at all. Even if it wasn't your wedding dress, it's still your dress and you have no obligation to even loan it out, much less give it away permanently. It makes sense to feel weird because no one is on your side, but it's only this one-sided because it's his entire family and they clearly have issues. if his solution is to have them being upset and just give them what they want, and his solution to himself is being upset and run away to his mom for 3 days, these are some serious red flags, and you might reconsider your future with this dude.
Keep the dress, ditch the husband.
Alright, folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Wanting My Husband to Cancel His Trip That He's Been Planning for 4 Years? My husband is 27 and he's been planning a trip for about 4 years with some close friends, and the trip kept getting postponed due to some of his friends having family deaths, financial issues, and unfortunate world events. My husband is finally going to be able to take this trip in 2 months. The issue is this: I am 21 years old and I'm pregnant, and he is leaving near my due date. This is my first child, and I don't want to go through childbirth alone. I don't have family other than my husband. My dad died, and my mom is mentally ill. I just want his support through the process. But he is making me feel really bad for him asking to postpone just so he can be here for his daughter and I. He told me that this is honestly not that big of a deal, and he said that when he was at the hospital for his son from our previous relationship, that the birth only took an hour and that the nurses were very supportive. I also don't want to care for his son after I come home from the hospital alone. He plans on being away for a month and has sole custody. His son goes to his mom every other weekend, but that's all. Sometimes his mom won't even show up. He hasn't even made any plans on where his son is going to go after I come home from the hospital. His sister agreed to take him for a little while I'm in the hospital, but she can't do any longer as she has a full-time job and doesn't want to take too much time away from work. He told me that I'll be able to handle everything by myself and begged me to drop the issue because he's been planning this trip for so long and he's really excited to go. He even offered to pay me for all the hardships and told me that women take care of children after coming home from the hospital all the time. I do understand that this wasn't exactly planned, and I feel awful about the whole situation, and a huge part of me wants to just drop it and find a way to deal with everything myself. I mean, his friends are calling me a wet blanket. I don't want to be a wet blanket and spoil everyone's fun. Am I the jerk here? Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, but you need a new husband.
Yeah, I think you need a new husband here. I think that this is just sad, OP. He is trying to guilt you into not being alone by yourself during a very hard time. He should be there with you, supporting you, by your side. The thing is this: if he did not want to have his trip interrupted, then 9 months ago he should have thought about this, and you two should have planned out a family a little bit differently, right? And this is the direct consequences of that, right? And I mean, the thing is, like, I know sometimes things happen, sometimes things are unplanned, and that's the way life is. But you can't just ditch your girlfriend and be like, oh yeah, by the way, you get to take care of this baby ball by yourself while I go on a fun month-long trip. Like, that's just awful. That's really, really awful. So no, OP, you're not a jerk, and these are pretty huge red flags, if I have to say so myself. So I misspoke there at the very end, when I was saying that they were boyfriend, girlfriend. I just kind of, things kind of snapped in my head there for a second. So, but I did find some comments from OP explaining the situation a little bit, and this is just absolutely the worst red flags ever. I knew him since I was 16, but we didn't actually get together until I was 19. We got married within the first year of a relationship. When I look back at things did happen pretty fast. So that's right there a pretty big red flag. And then OP also says this: I can't just leave him. I have nothing to my name, and I moved across the country for him. I unfortunately don't know anyone here besides my neighbors. I guess it's my fault for keeping myself isolated. I really regret because now I feel alone. So I just feel absolutely heartbroken for OP here. They don't know anybody. They're in a very vulnerable state, and this guy seems to be taking advantage of her, and like, This is just a bad situation. There's just so many red flags here now, especially reading some of these comments from OP. It's bad. It's really bad. And apparently he also doesn't want OP to work. Not a good situation. This really just sounds like classic isolation manipulation techniques here. It's just not good. Not the jerk. He offered to pay me for all the hardships. He told me that women take care of the children after coming home from the hospital all the time. Red flags all across the field. Girl, I never overreact on these posts either, but holy cow. Due to extremely unfortunate work circumstances out of our control, my husband had to be in China for a month after my daughter was born. We live in the Bay Area. I had a 2-year-old at the time and also a C-section. It was beyond incredibly difficult. I couldn't lift my baby. I couldn't drive. I had no help, no family around. My 2-year-old was helping me clean and do laundry and dishes because it's all I could do to survive. It was terrible. Yes, women do it because they are amazing, but that doesn't mean it's easy or should be done if it doesn't have to be. Edit, I just came back and read all these comments. Thank you all. My kids are now 13 and 10. Thankfully, this is long behind us, and my husband has a job that doesn't require overseas travel anymore. Thank you all so much for the kind words and comments. It just reiterates how much OP needs to put her foot down and possibly rethink this relationship. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I hope you have some kind of beverage. Amber has water, but she had tea earlier. I have tea as well, and I'll let you guess what kind. Amber has a joke for us, apparently.
What are the last 3 hairs on a dog's tail called?
I don't know what.
Dog hairs.
Of course they're dog hairs. Of course they are. And I have Mega Mint tea. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like, and if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.